A single glove lay on the passenger seat, fingers curled like it was still holding the wheel. The heat was running, the keys were in the ignition, but there was no one inside, and somehow it felt like there never had been. I'm not really sure how to explain the things that don't stop, that don't get erased when you wake up or close your eyes or walk away. I didn't go out there to find anyone. It was just a walk. It's always been just a walk, every morning at 6:30 sharp before the roads get busy and before the sky turns blue. That's when the world is quiet. When things haven't fully arrived yet. I live near the edge of the woods, those old growth, ones that feel more like a memory than a place. Nothing but trees and air and whatever your mind decides to fill the gaps with. I walk the same loop every day, always have 15 years, same route, same shoes, same thermos of black coffee. I never needed more than that, never expected to find anything new, but last Tuesday, I turned the corner past the old fence line, and the truck was there, just sitting there in the gully between the birches like it had slid in from nowhere. Mud still wet around the tires, steam barely visible off the hood. It wasn't crashed, it wasn't broken, it was just warm and quiet and wrong. No tracks leading in, no footprints leading out. Just that heat, ticking under the silence like it was trying to remember. Something it couldn't hold onto. I stood there for a minute, coffee in one hand, waiting for something to move. The dome light was on. The driver's door was slightly ajar, not flung open, just gently unlatched like someone had meant to step out, but never fully did. I don't know what made me look in, but when I noticed the glove first, one of those thick work gloves, gray leather stained at the fingertips. It was curled slightly inward, palm up, just sitting there, like it had been placed carefully, not dropped. The radio was on but tuned to static, just white fuzz, quiet but insistent, the kind of sound that lives in your bones after a while. And the air inside the cab was warm. Not hot, not running idle for hours hot, just warm like someone had stepped out 5 minutes ago. That's what kept looping in my head, 5 minutes ago, but there was no one. I called out. I tapped the hood. I even walked up and shouted a few times, more out of instinct than anything. Nothing answered. The glove didn't move. I couldn't explain it, but I felt like I had interrupted something, like I had arrived a breath too late. I went back the next morning. I don't know why. Maybe I thought someone would be there. Maybe I thought it would be gone. But it wasn't. Same position, same angle, same glove curled the same way. The only thing that had changed was the frost on the windshield. It had melted from the inside. Still warm, still ticking, still no footprints. That's when I started checking the engine. I know a little about cars, not much, just enough to be dangerous. The oil was clean, battery strong, gas tank full. The clock on the dashboard read 6:34 a.m. I looked at my watch, 6:34 a.m. That exact minute, that same moment, and when I looked up, I realized I couldn't hear the birds. Not one, not the crows, not the chickadees that usually flit across the power lines. Just wind and that low static from the radio that seemed louder now, like it had drifted into my ear without moving. I told someone about it on Friday. My brother-in-law Mark used to be a cop. Now he's mostly just bored and trying to stay useful. I thought maybe he'd know what to do, or at least come look, so I didn't feel so strange. But when we walked out there together, it was gone. No truck, no tire marks, no depression in the soil. Just a cold patch of air that made him stop and stare for a minute longer than he needed to. He told me maybe I'd dreamed it, that I'd probably mixed up my days, that maybe I'd seen a hunter and didn't realize it. I didn't argue. I didn't know how to, but the next morning the truck was back, same place, same warmth, same glove. Clock read 6:34 a.m. Every time I started photographing it, then filming it, but none of the footage ever saved. Not corrupted, just missing, like the files knew not to stay, like they were only ever meant to be seen once. And then the dreams started, at least I think they're dreams. I wake up sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at my boots like I've been there for hours. Sometimes my thermos is already full, sometimes it's not where I left it at all. Once I woke up standing in the hallway, key in my hand, other glove missing. I don't remember getting up, I don't remember pouring coffee, but it's always 6:34 when I check. Always, and the glove I found its twin in my coat pocket. The same leather, same wear, but I've never owned gloves like that. I asked my daughter if she remembered me ever buying them. She just shook her head and went back to her cereal, and later when I checked again, the glove was gone. From my coat, from the truck, from everything. Just gone, like it had followed me home, then decided to keep going last. Night was different. The heat came on by itself. Middle of the night, middle of summer, thermostat untouched. But the vents were blowing like it was January. The sound of the fan was exactly like the truck's engine hum. That low, steady churn of something, not moving, not arriving, just waiting. I turned it off, went back to bed, but then I heard the click, the tick. Tick-tick of an engine cooling. Right outside the window. I live on the second floor. There's no driveway out there. Just pine trees and shadows and a stretch of woods that should have stayed asleep. But the sound didn't care. It clicked and cooled and settled like a memory being folded shut. And I swear I saw the faint shape of a cabin light just hovering in the trees, like a dome light that never burned out this morning. I walked the path again, thermos in hand, boots wet from the dew. No truck. This time just the glove lying in the center of the trail. Flat this time, fingers spread palm up, like it was reaching. Like it had given up, trying to be subtle. I didn't pick it up. I walked past it. I walked the full loop, 42 minutes, same as always. But when I got home, the glove was on my porch, still damp, still warm. I didn't bring it back. I didn't touch it. I locked the door. I made coffee. I told myself it was just some prank, some leftover twitch in the brain from all those years of routine. But I couldn't stop checking the time. 634 on the stove, on the microwave, on my phone. Even when the sun was high and the mail had already come, always 634. I started writing this down because I thought maybe I could track it, find the pattern, make sense of the loop. But the more I look, the less sense it makes. My shoes are always dirty, but I don't remember walking. There's mud in my truck bed, but I haven't driven to the woods. My neighbor asked if I got a new vehicle, said she heard an engine idling outside our place before sunrise all week. I told her it must have been someone else. I lied, because I know what she heard. It was that truck, and I think it's been mine this whole time. Or maybe it never was. Maybe it's not about ownership. Maybe it's about remembering the moment before something disappears. I went to the DMV yesterday just to check, just to settle my own nerves. I gave them my plate number, my registration, everything. They looked me up, said I don't have a vehicle registered. Say I haven't had one since 2006. That's not possible. I drive to the store. I drive to appointments. I drove there. But when I walked back out, the parking spot was empty. I don't remember driving home. I don't remember opening the door. But my boots were wet, and the smell of warm engine was thick in the air. I found the glove again this morning on the passenger seat of my wife's car. She's been dead 3 years. I know how this sounds. I know what it looks like on paper. But there's something you need to understand. The truck isn't following me. It's not chasing me. It is me, or what's left of me. It's every moment I left something running too long, every second I stepped out and forgot to come back. And I think I've been looping, not just days, not just walks, moments. That same 634 heartbeat, that same tick in time where I never made the right turn. The truck didn't appear. I did, in the version of the morning that shouldn't exist. And now, it's waiting not to be driven, but to be remembered. I found an old voicemail on my landline yesterday. The date was blank, the audio was scratchy, but it was my voice, saying nothing but this: don't forget the glove, don't leave the door open. Over and over, until it cut out. My daughter doesn't have a landline. My neighbors say they never heard an engine. My brother-in-law died 2 months ago. There's no one left to tell this to, so I'm leaving it here in case someone finds the file. In case someone else walks that path and sees the truck. Don't touch the glove. Don't follow the warmth. If the engine's still running, it means the moment hasn't finished yet. And if you feel the heat on your hand without reaching in, that's how you'll know it's already started. Over. I'm going back tomorrow. I have to. I think I left myself behind. The hallway always creaked after midnight. But it wasn't the house settling, and it wasn't the wind either. I know because I've counted the floorboards and memorized their complaints, and I felt the air still as skin beneath a winter sheet, and still the creak returns soft as a whisper that's learned to mimic familiarity. That's how it started, I think, not with the sleep talking or the strange name she kept saying, but with that one sound. I couldn't explain away the sound of something knowing exactly when to be quiet and when not to. Moved in during spring because she said the light felt softer through the upstairs windows, and I agreed, even though I couldn't really see the difference. She always had that way of sensing warmth in things most people don't notice, like the color of dust on baseboards or the way laundry smells different depending on which drawer it came from. And I used to love that about her, how she could romanticize the mundane, make it feel curated, intentional, like maybe none of us are just existing. We're being arranged gently by unseen hands. But the house never felt lived in, not properly, not like the other homes we'd had, and I used to think it was because of the wallpaper. Upstairs, a faint yellow floral print that looked like it had been scrubbed at too many times without quite surrendering. Like something trying not to be remembered, in not being poetic. There really was something about it, especially in the second bedroom, which we didn't use except for storage, and even then barely. It was too cold in there, no matter how we adjusted the vents, and it always smelled faintly metallic, like pennies on the tongue still. Things were fine, normal, until the second month, until I started waking up before her, which never used to happen, and I'd find her murmuring, half-breathing words that didn't belong to anything, words I couldn't quite catch at first. And then one night I did, or I thought I did, and the way she said it made me sick. "Don't go yet, Michael." It wasn't the name that bothered me, it was the weight in her voice. Like she'd been waiting her whole life to say it again, like it hurt not to say it. "We don't know a Michael." She's never mentioned one. We've been together 6 years, and I know every name in her life. Every ex, every cousin, every friend from school she lost touch with, and there's no Michael. I said nothing the first few times. It felt like violating something sacred, her dreams, the part of her I'm not supposed to touch. But the name kept coming, not every night, but often enough that I started bracing for it. Always the same phrase, "Don't go yet, Michael." Once she even added, "You promised you'd come back." I tried brushing it off as a buried memory surfacing, grief, maybe, or a movie character she'd forgotten. But then she started talking in her sleep, even when I hadn't fallen asleep first, and that changed everything. Wait until I turned off the light, then just start. No build-up, no tossing or twitching. Just a flat voice emerging from her, as if something else were inside the room, asking to be acknowledged. "I know you're here," she said one night, and I didn't know whether she meant me or someone else. The way she said it was too calm, too rehearsed. I tried recording it once on my phone just to prove to myself it was real. But the playback was empty, no sound, just the static hum of silence. Not even my own breathing came through. That was the first time I slept on the couch. When I asked her about it, casually over coffee, like I was joking, she looked genuinely confused. "I don't talk in my sleep," she said, smiling, not defensive, just certain, and that certainty scared me more than denial would have. She even laughed a little, said she'd never done that in her life, and changed the subject to the mail or the new neighbor's dog. But I started watching her more closely. She would blink too slowly when she woke up, as if time passed differently in her sleep, and some mornings she'd stand in front of the mirror longer than usual, not brushing her hair, not fixing anything, just watching herself, like she was trying to catch herself doing something wrong. And then there was the photograph, God, that changed everything. It was in the attic inside a shoebox I hadn't seen before. We'd been looking for the old extension cord to hang lights in the backyard, and I opened it without thinking. Just loose photos, no labels, no context. But one of them, one photo, was of her, definitely her, standing on a sidewalk beside a man I didn't recognize, older, maybe 40, wearing a dark green coat and looking right at the camera. She wasn't. She was looking up at him, smiling in a way I hadn't seen before. Like she was listening, really listening. Her hair was shorter in the photo, darker too, but it was unmistakably. Harry took the box down, showed her the photo. Asked where it was taken. She stared at it like it meant nothing. "That's not me," she said too quickly. I told her it looked exactly like her. Same freckle on the collarbone, same little scar near her eye from that bike crash in 7th grade. She didn't blink. "I've never been there," she said, "and I don't know who that is." She left the room like she was bored. I checked the back of the photo for a date. Nothing, no writing, no imprint, just faint fingerprints smudged across. The corner I put it back in the box, but the next day when I went to look again, the photo was gone. The whole box was I. Asked her where she'd put it, and she just stared at me like I was asking nonsense. "What box?" she said, that night to sleep. Talking got worse. It wasn't sentences anymore, just one name over and over. Michael, Michael, Michael. Like a prayer or a countdown until she gasped like she'd swallowed too much air. I shook her awake, and she blinked at me with such cold detachment like I was a stranger shaking her on a train. "Why are you looking at me like that?" she said. Next morning, the layout of the kitchen was wrong, subtly but definitely. The mugs had always been above the fridge, now they were in the second cabinet. The knives were flipped blades facing out. The spice rack had labels I didn't recognize. I asked her if she reorganized, and she nodded absently, but I could tell it wasn't something she'd done. It was something she'd accepted over. The next few weeks, more things shifted. Doors opened the wrong way. The carpet changed shade. The hall felt longer. My clothes smelled unfamiliar once I opened a drawer and found shirts I didn't remember owning. She never noticed. She moved through the house like everything was normal, like nothing was changing. But her voice kept saying his name every night, and I started hearing it during the day too. Not from her, but in places it shouldn't be. Through the floor vents, behind the bathroom mirror, once faintly from the unplugged baby monitor we kept from her sister's last visit. "Don't go yet, Michael." I wasn't sleeping. I started filming her just for proof, but the videos came out wrong, distorted. She'd flicker or warp at the edges once her mouth moved, but no sound came out until 5 seconds later, when the words bled in, slowly dragging across the silence like they didn't want to arrive. I showed her one clip. She laughed, said I was editing it, that it was a joke, but I could see something in her eyes. A flinch too small to be deliberate. I started wondering if I'd forgotten something. Something important. Was there a Michael? Had I been someone else? I pulled out old notebooks, checked my emails, scrolled through every contact in my phone. Nothing, no Michael, but I kept dreaming of a hospital hallway and the sound of someone running just out of sight. Once I woke up with a name in my mouth that didn't feel like mine. I looked in the mirror, and for a second, I swear to God, I didn't recognize my own reflection. I shaved my beard to be sure. She didn't comment on it, didn't notice. One night I found a voice note on my phone. I didn't record, no timestamp, no metadata, just her voice. "If you're hearing this, it's because I failed." Then static. I asked her. She said I must have dreamed it. That maybe I was under too much stress, that maybe I should get some air. But she looked scared, not for me, for herself, like she was afraid I'd remember. And then last night she said something new. I hadn't slept for 2 days, just sat beside her waiting. She opened her mouth slowly like it hurt. "I'll stay this time," she whispered. "I promise, Michael. But my name's not Michael. It never was. I checked my license, my birth certificate, my old school IDs. My name isn't Michael, but the house. The house thinks it is. She does, and now I'm starting to think, maybe I forgot something. Maybe I asked her to forget. With me, maybe the man in the photo was me. Maybe this was our house before, and we left for a reason, and coming back rewound something. Or split it. Or maybe I'm just hearing what I want to hear, and she's saying what she needs to say, and nothing in this place is wrong, except the part of me that remembers too much. I don't sleep anymore. She does, peacefully every night, still talking, still calling him. And every morning the house looks more like a place I used to live in long ago, under a different name with a different woman who had the same eyes and the same scar, and the same habit of humming under her breath when she boiled water. I think she's waiting for me to leave again. But this time I won't. I want to see how it ends. Or how it began. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe I've already left and this is the echo of that choice, or maybe I was never here at all either. Way, if you find this, don't wake her. She doesn't know who you are, and if she says your name in her sleep, don't answer.